So I sat down yesterday with Pro Football Network's Ian Cummings, and we discussed risers, fallers in this draft class, as well as some guys to keep an eye on, especially going through the second half of the season. Because there are some guys that have been getting some reps recently, and they've been looking mighty good. But what's crack-a-lacking? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know so. Go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. And as always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I do have a 3-round mock draft out with Alex from the Hail Mary podcast. So if you want to check that out, just go to the channel. It's there. But let's go ahead. Let's get to Ian Cummings and enjoy. All right. Some guys to watch for the rest of the season. Let's finish this off with... You got 5 guys. I got 5 guys.
All right. Well, I guess I got a
watch list.
I got a 2022 NFL Draft Sleepers piece coming out on Saturday.
Oh, spoiler! My bad, dude.
No. I'll give you guys one spoiler.
Perfect.
I'll give a little preview. I tweeted about this guy, so it's not really a spoiler. We kind of knew, but a Tennessee defensive tackle, Matthew Butler.
Yeah, I just talked about him yesterday, actually.
This guy is. I don't know if you've seen his pit tape, man, but he was really, really exciting. He was really, really active. I mean, he's a 5th-year senior, so you kind of think, why hasn't he broken out yet? Some guys, it just takes a while, and some guys, they kind of fly under the radar. You know, he's been a steady producer, and this year he's already got 5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks in like 6 games, I think, 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, dude had a monster outing against Ole Miss, and that's probably about the only thing I've really seen from him. Mm-hmm. But still,
dude, against Pitt too, like it doesn't always match the production, because I think he can do a little bit better stacking counters consistently, but he is insanely explosive. I mean, he is the most explosive guy on that line by far. I looked up his recruiting. He had a 5'11" 40-yard dash and a 32.5-inch vert. So definitely has good athletic numbers, man. He's going to test really well. Right now, I think he's 6'4", 295, really good length, and he just pops off the line. He just completely explodes off the line, and he's super violent too. I mean, his hand placement isn't quite where it needs to be, but he's twitchy, explosive, energetic, and powerful when he does strike. You know, there's a little bit of room for refinement, but I think if he can get more consistent with that hand placement, you know, it's definitely not a want-to thing. He has the motor too. And when he does get clean off the first block, he can explode into the backfield off of that. So he's got that stamina too. I just want to see him be more consistent. Once he can do that, I think he can be one of the best defensive tackles in this class. You know, I think he can be in that range for sure. He has the physical talent.
Yeah, I think depending on, like, in this interior class, I guess depending on what you consider DeMarvin Leal, and maybe like after Jordan Davis, it's kind of up for grabs. Who's the next? Because like Jordan Davis, he has rare size and athleticism. It's gonna be tough to beat that, you know.
He does a lot of stuff that doesn't show up on the box score either. You know, like occupying gaps. You know, keeping guys occupied and kind of, you know, filling space from that end, but also having that pass rushing upside too. You know, it's definitely a good dual-sided ability that he has.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about Zion Tupuola-Fetui, I believe is how you say his name.
I think it's Tupuola-Fetui.
I'll get it by the end of draft season, I promise.
There you go.
ZTF, man.
ZTF.
This guy was
They have 3 names for a reason, man. Just
you're right. Exactly.
Use that acronym.
But he was actually like I was talking about him before we got on. He was like my edge 3, edge 4 before the ACL tear in April. Because I didn't find out about it until a week later because I was busy putting together my rankings, and someone was like, hey, he's probably out for the year. I was like, but he was so good. And it was like,
I think it was actually an Achilles tear.
Was it? Oh,
which is like almost even worse for an edge rusher. You talk about explosiveness, what you need to get off the line. But he
returned this weekend,
which is crazy. That's
wild.
That's crazy.
Only played 10 snaps, but 4 pressures. And I made sure to watch all 10 snaps. Because I love this guy. He's coming in 20 pounds lighter, or at least that's how he's listed at now, 260 opposed to the 280. But always played strong, but they always kind of played him either over or far outside the tackle. But this weekend, man, he had, like, first snap came off on a nasty little stunt play, got right into DTR. There's another 3 named right there, Dorian Thompson Robinson's face. Another one, he just put the right tackle right in DTR's lap. Like, I like that the power still seemed to all be there, man. Like that was one thing I really liked about him. This guy, his hands just pop on contact. He's so strong, and it looks like he's working with a little bit more juice. Granted, very small sample size this past weekend in 10 snaps, but benefit of the doubt, he's coming off kind of a major injury. But in 2020, dude, 20 pressures, 7 sacks off 95 pass rushing snaps, dude. He has less than 400 snaps to his name. That's why this year was kind of big for him. I feel like if he comes out and like he has a strong finish to the end of the season, like I know it's a crowded edge room, but I think he's a guy that can maybe drift into that top 10 conversation when it comes to the edge class. I really like this cat a lot.
He's a fun player. I mean, I liked him before the Achilles tear too, and yeah, I was really bummed because on tape, he's a fun player. I mean, 6'3", 280, somewhere around there. Kind of an unconventional frame, but it works. I mean, he can line up way outside at that wide alignment. He can go 5-tech, can go 3-tech. Really wherever you need him in that range, he can play from there. And it's really nice to have that versatility. I think his explosiveness, his first step was really quick. High motor guy, violent hands. I mean, really checks a lot of the boxes that you want. And I was very impressed with this film last year. And then, being able to recover that quickly from an Achilles tear and then having an impact right off the bat in the limited snaps you did have. I mean, that's a testament to this kind of guy and who he is. I think off the field, he's just as high motor, just as, he just always working to get back, and he's got that composure, and he saw that. So, I honestly, if he can prove he's 100%, that's the biggest thing for me. Take a greater workload, prove you're 100%. If you can do that, then I think you can go up the board. And having that versatility is just going to keep driving your stock up. I mean, these defenses are always looking for guys who can, produce from multiple alignments. And I think that ZTF is exactly that kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see more, man. I'm happy he's back.
Yeah, for sure. Same. I guess I'll go with my next guy, quarterback. We're going to go with the quarterback here.
Oh, okay.
In the players to watch. Will Levis.
Kentucky. Okay, we're back on the Will Levis. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, I really wanted to see him play against Georgia because coming into the season, if you guys don't know who Will Levis is, you've probably seen his weird banana eating video. Dude, it's the mayonnaise and the coffee. I mean, god dang. I mean, this guy, I feel like he's just trying to mess with us, honestly. I feel like that's part of it, honestly, just trying to get these reactions. But he's an interesting character. But on the field, man, he's fun. He's a high upside prospect. I think he's like 6'3", 230, a really good athlete, has a really, really good arm. I mean, I was really surprised by how elastic and strong his arm is. He can generate velocity just like that. So the tools are all there to be, I think, an early round pick. And especially in this class, no one's running away. If he can finish the year on a strong note, maybe be a round one guy. I don't dispute that. So I wanted to see him against Georgia because that defense is the ultimate gauntlet for a quarterback. If you're on,
they've scored more than what the offense have scored on them. Yeah, that's wild, dude.
Exactly. I mean, it's insane, right? So, I didn't expect Levis to take it over because, again, he came into the season, coming into the year, I think he had 102 career attempts coming into the year. Yeah. So very
former. Is it Penn State?
Penn State, yeah.
Okay.
He signed with Penn State. Was Sean Clifford's backup, and then Clifford kind of sucked, so they were like, all right, Levis, get in here a little bit. But he ended up transferring and won the job at Kentucky. Only had 102 attempts. He's been a little up and down this year, but overall, I was pretty impressed with what I saw against Georgia. Again, nothing world beating, but for a guy with so little experience against a top flight defense like that, he didn't collapse. He stayed in the pocket. He stood tall. He was poised. He made good throws. He changed his arm angles. He navigated the pocket against pressure, which you really like to see. He used his legs when he needed to. There were a few instances where he responded poorly to pressure, kind of fading away, and that mechanical inconsistency affected his accuracy. But at the same time, there were times when he stood tall, delivered a strike, and there were quite a few drops. When I was watching, I counted like 3 or 4 drops just like that. So could have, maybe generated more big plays that way because he was hitting tight windows. He was. And he wasn't really turning the ball over. He was being safe with it too. So I liked what I saw. I liked the composure. I want to see more. Hopefully he can close out the year on a strong note, but he's got the physical tools, man. And in this class, there's really no one precluding him from rising if he can do that. That's the big thing. Put it together, but he's got the physical traits.
Yeah, I think in a normal quarterback class, you look at this guy and be like, oh yeah, you'll be good if you wait a year, larger sample size. That's kind of the thing with Tanner McKee too, the Stanford quarterback. But yeah, dude, it's such a toss up right now with this quarterback class. It's almost worth it.
Yeah, almost.
So I want to talk about another Cincinnati prospect, the running back Jerome Ford, man.
That's good.
I stinking love this cat. I didn't know he was a former Alabama transfer. Look at you, man. You just want to daydream about him. I get it.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what it is.
But this guy, he's listed as 5'11", 220. He does not look like 220. He kind of looks a bit thinner than that, but regardless, man, he's very patient at the line. When he sees it, he goes. He's got home run threat potential. He's currently tied for ninth in the nation in forced missed tackles. This is one of my favorite running back prospects right now in the class, man. I love this guy's breakaway speed. I think he's got really good contact balance. It's like, oh, now Gojo, man, he wants to come in here and talk about Jerome Ford, don't you, guys? Oh, you're so excited about him. But dude,
he's got reason to be, man. I mean, he have like a 4 touchdown outing this past week or something.
Yeah, so. He totally went off, dude. Like this guy, he's just been hitting home runs though.
Yeah.
This season, it's so wild. And even going back to Alabama, like the little he saw in the 2 seasons he was there, still 31 carries, 150 yards, a touchdown, but 10 forced missed tackles over 31 carries. That's pretty solid. And I think he's put up 2 good seasons at Cincinnati, mainly this one. But statistically, I haven't checked out any of his 2020. I'll just throw that out there. But statistically, it looked impressive.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you go with the 2021, I think the most recent tape
is typically safe, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like you kind of want to go off of that unless like some crazy circumstance. But yeah, he's been fun. I agree about the contact balance, and I think that Cincinnati line, I mean, it's a decent line. It's not a great line. He's creating for himself a little bit, and it's showing that ability to create for yourself is good. I think he'll get drafted because of it. Running backs are always interesting because the positional value kind of gets deflated sometimes, but he's got a lot of the tools, and being a former Alabama guy, that just kind of validates it. I feel like okay, there's a reason he was there. He has the goods, and he's definitely converting on it this year.
Yeah, and I'm typically not a running back guy either. Well, in terms of value, which I think that's fair. I think a lot of people are starting to come to that conclusion where it's, invest in running back early in the draft. It's typically not worth it. But I think Ford's a guy that can maybe sneak into like top 5 area for the running back class right now.
Yeah. There's another running back on my list, kind of not really a big name guy. I won't spend too much time on him, but I don't know if you've seen this guy, Coastal Carolina, Reese White. Have you seen any of him?
No, I haven't really watched I haven't really watched the Russian attack from Coastal Carolina.
I mean, they just lost to Appalachian State, so I wouldn't blame you.
Did they? No.
They lost. Yeah, they're done.
No.
By 3 points. I mean, Chase Bryce, come on, man. You could beat Chase Bryce.
Oh, I know, dude. He couldn't make it at Duke after leaving Clemson.
I gotta be fair to the guy. Apparently, he's been better at Appalachian State, but Coastal Carolina got to take care of business, man.
They were huge favorites too, weren't they?
Yeah, they were like 30 points. No, not 30 points. But they were
still. I mean, that's up there. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even know that. I didn't watch that last night. That's wild.
I was thinking of Liberty UL Monroe, I think, for the 30 points. But
yeah. Which, dang,
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But Reese White's a guy who's caught my eye. I think not going to be anything more than like a round 6, round 7 pick at best. But yeah, I think he's pretty explosive for his size. He's one of those kind of smaller, slender backs, but he's explosive. He's jittery. He can really use space and do well there. So keep an eye on him. I'll use a freebie there, but another guy that I want to bring up is, and we talked about him a little bit earlier, but David Ojabo. I had him in my round 1 mock earlier, or my 7-round mock. I had him in round 1 of that. And Aiden Hutchinson gets a lot of the hype athletically, and for good reason. He was on Feldman's freaks list. He's going to have good numbers, but David Ojabo is just as freaky. I mean, he's explosive, bendy, 6'5", 250. So he's got good size, good length. And he's got good power too. And he's shown that he has a working arsenal of pass rush moves. So, we saw the spin against Kirkland, but he's got other stuff too. He's got a swim. He's got a bull rush. He can do speed to power. He can do swipes, So, whatever you need him to do, he's definitely a lot more refined than people give him credit for. And he's got athletic tools too. So I think he's my 7th ranked edge. He's in that top 8 for me. I think he's my 50th ranked player. So he's already in my top 50 after the start of the year.
Wow.
He's really emerged quicker than I expected him to. But I mean, if you're that athletic, that explosive, and you got the bend to go along with it and the length, he's got all the tools. His motor runs hot. I think round 1 is definitely not out of the question if you can keep following this trajectory.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Like after I saw you tweet about him, I went in and started looking at him, and there's been a lot of hype built around this guy. He was freshman year. He was like the practice squad player of the year, defensive player of the year, something like that.
Yeah.
And even a little bit of the small amount of snaps last year, he was still pretty solid. But man, that's wild.
Living in Michigan, my best friend is a Michigan fan, so we were kind of chilling, and he's like, "Hey, David Ojabo," because like, "Hey, you're a draft guy, David Ojabo. Keep an eye on him." And I was like, "All right, I'll keep an eye on him. I'll put him in the memory banks again." And sure enough, I mean, he goes off this year. So hey, don't discount the fans. I mean, they follow these teams closer than anyone, so they know who the up and coming players are.
Dude, you're not wrong. And I was thinking maybe this is a guy that wait for next year, maybe for the edge class, to be a little lighter. But he's 20. He'll be 22 at the time of the draft this year. So it's like I don't know. You get to 23, it's kind of.
I think he's from Scotland or something.
Yeah,
so he's from abroad.
He's a
so
military
those guys,
brat, I think.
Yeah. Those guys tend to be a little older sometimes.
Yeah.
So. But he's only 22, so this is the right time for him to declare, I think.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. I think the upside's definitely there.
Yeah.
Upside. Speaking of upside, this is a guy that's pure upside. Corey Durden, the defensive interior, currently nose tackle for NC State. This is a cat I really liked out of Florida State during the 2022 draft. And he decided not to declare that year. That season, he had 45 pressures, 7 sacks playing from the interior. He's literally a bull in a china shop, man. Like, he's so violent, he just plays out of control. That's just the way to put it. But like, he's got great length. He's at 6'5", 310. He uses his leverage well. It's just so strong. He's really good at he's got good get off, so he's good at turning that speed to power. And now he's playing nose tackle at NC State. And they know, I think they know how to get these guys drafted based on the last couple of drafts with like Aleem McNeil, like James Smith-Williams. There's this cat on Tennessee, I can't remember. It's like Mutchinson or something.
Laurel Murchison.
Yeah. So they've been getting these guys drafted, and I think that could be the case just because the upside's so good. He only played in the first 3 games where he had 67 snaps altogether. He's started the last 3. He's played 150 snaps in those games. So he's getting big boy snaps. Like, this guy isn't just a rotation player. He doesn't just play like 2 downs. He's playing 3 downs through the whole game. And he's been impressive. 11 pressures, 3 sacks on the year, playing there at the nose. I think he is maybe a guy that will need like a Senior Bowl, need a combine to really just show off that upside. But he's been a guy that's been on my radar. I like that he transferred. And then I got scared when he wasn't starting. I was like, I don't get it. And now he is. So I think watch out for this cat for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, and he definitely has the production, in a previous year, which is
Oh,
which is
yeah. I
promising. Yeah.
kind of like just burned the tape on 2020 because Mike Norvell just totally like tanked the stock of like a ton of guys that year that weren't
Yeah, for sure.
Santi Samuel.
Florida State's coaching, they can't seem to get that right for some reason. But yeah, it sucks because with these teams, a lot of them it's like they have talent, but it kind of goes underdeveloped because of it.
Yep.
It's just how it is, and it's up to the evaluators to kind of pick that out. So Corey Durden is definitely one of those guys. Might not be entirely unearthed right now, but in the right situation could definitely kind of break out.
Yeah,
So,
he's very similar to I think in terms of like his polish, how far along he is to like Joshua Kaindow, who came out I think this previous year from Florida State. So they're both really raw prospects with a ton of upside.
yeah, for sure. And that alone is enough to get you drafted.
Oh,
usually.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm thinking who should I pick now? I think I'm gonna go off the beaten path a little bit. I'm gonna go with an FCS guy, Dijon
Ooh,
Dixon.
I haven't really dove into the FCS territory.
All right. Here's your. I'll give some info here. Then Dijon Dixon, Nicholls State receiver. I think he's got he's been productive so far this year. I think, and you'll get to read about him a little more in my sleepers piece coming up. But he's a fun player. I got a chance to watch him a little bit this past week. Paul Duncan and Mark Jarvis we were kind of chatting, watching this game, some tape, and it was a fun one. He's 6'4", 200. He's a great athlete for his size. I mean, you talk about vertical athleticism. He's got it. He can rise for balls. He can contort. He's also explosive enough to gain separation downfield, stack defensive backs. And then also, he flashed ability as a route runner using that hip sink. I think that, I just think he has everything. He's flashed everything at least. I don't want to hype him up too much, but he's a fun player. He's a fun player, and having that production too, checking that box at the FCS level, that's just another kind of positive to his stock. So Dijon Dixon, I had a chance to look at him. Really like what I saw. The physical tools, having that size and athleticism, that combination alone is a fun thing to look at. So I think he'll definitely be a interesting player to watch if he gets some opportunities in the off season with all-star games and athletic testing too. I think that could drive his stock up. He's a fun player.
That's nice. I'll throw that guy on the watch list. Typically, I'm like I'll get into FCS after the season. Man, I'm a bit lower. There was like one guy that I really liked from last year that ended up sticking around. Well, they canceled last season. And what was it? North Carolina A&T running back Jermaine Martin, I think.
Jermaine Martin, yeah. I think he came back too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. But he was a guy that I thought I was like super intrigued in, and then I had the hardest time finding out if he declared or not. It was such a struggle.
It was so hard with those guys who played in the spring because it's like the draft is right there. It's like, hey, well, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, did they sign as undrafted free agents? Did they come back? Like, what's the deal? But yeah, the FCS is always tough to parse through. I have a few guys on my list, but again, it's not nearly as much as FCS.
Yeah.
It definitely takes a lot more effort.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna go with the offensive line here, and this guy's a bit more. There's more of I feel like name value. Cade Mays, out of Tennessee. Right now playing right tackle. He's playing at I think a high level. We knew this guy's like a mauler, and I think he's done a good job there this season, because that's always been the thing with him. His play's always been so up and down, and to be fair, they've moved him all like around everywhere. He was playing left tackle for a little bit. Once he transferred, he played right guard. Now, kind of cemented him at right tackle the last two seasons. I thought during the last stretch of last season that I was like, all right, we're seeing a bit more consistency, but you kind of still need that just season to like separate you.
Yeah,
I list him as an offensive line prospect just because I don't think he's that athletic. Guilty as charged. I love athleticism. And I really think guard might be a spot in the NFL because the dude is stupid strong. Like, he's got very powerful hands.
Yeah.
And it just looks like this year he just knows how to use them a lot better. So, and to be fair, I started watching a little bit of Tennessee quite recently again, just because Hooker's been wild, the quarterback.
Yeah.
This year, yeah, and who was the other cat? Well, then there was Barry. Huh. Maybe it was just Hooker.
Hooker's been fun though. Like that alone is worth watching that team. I mean, he's a very intriguing quarterback.
So weird because like I was like, oh, okay, they got the running quarterback from Virginia Tech. All right. And now it's like, why are you throwing strikes? What the heck is this?
Yeah, like, okay, he's actually got something to him. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be an interesting guy. I don't think he's a quarterback in the NFL, but with this class, I'm not opposed to it because he's playing just really good football.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Cade Mays, he's kind of a mountain, 6'6", almost 330. So
and having that versatility again, that'll just give him extra utility in the eyes of scouts. So.
Exactly, and I mean, dude was like I think a former 4-star or something. Used to transfer from Georgia, so like there's a pedigree there. So that's
for sure.
I think it's nice.
All right, well, for my final one, I guess I gotta end on a high note here. I gotta figure out how to do that. I'm gonna go with a guy I wrote up in the sleepers piece last week, Tariq Woolen, UTSA cornerback.
I thought you might bring this guy up. I haven't checked him out yet, but I was like, ooh, I'm kind of excited.
He's fun. He's been productive this year, and the thing with it's interesting because corner is obviously a position usually you kind of you see guys it's between 5'9" and like 6'2". That's kind of the draftable range, right? I mean, below that it's a little too short, even 5'9" for some guys. For
what Meek Robertson checking out like 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah, exactly. Like that's too small. That's too small. But like, and then 6'2", you know, sometimes guys that get up there, they're a little too big. They don't move quite as well. So guys above that, it's a lot rarer to see them succeed consistently, and the hit rate's lower, so teams are kind of hesitant. Tariq Woolen is 6'4". He's 6'4", 205. But here's the thing: he was on the Feldman's Freaks list. I think he has like a 4.34 40-yard dash on record. He's got a 130, I want to say 137-inch broad jump, which is insane. And I think I heard that he might have a 40-inch vertical too. So this guy is a wicked athlete. And looking at some tape, whatever tape I could find at UTSA, always trying to find more, but because it's kind of tough.
Yeah, and it's weird because they have some freaks there too.
Yeah, exactly. Like they got him. They got Sincere McCormick. They got Frank Harris, Zakari Franklin, Rashad Wisdom.
Franklin.
Yeah, exactly.
Joshua. What?
Cephas, I think.
Yeah, didn't know his brother was the Lions receiver there. The former Wisconsin
which makes
guy.
sense. I mean, but Quintez is pretty good too. I mean, Quintez
and they're
was
like
weird.
polar opposites in terms of what type of receivers they are.
Yeah, exactly. So it's fun, man. It's fun. UTSA that's my brand team. They got Frank Harris, a quarterback too, is pretty intriguing. That's my brand team, man. I love them. But Tariq Woolen is the for me, he's the cream of the crop. He's an elite athlete at 6'4", 205 at corner, and from what I've seen on tape, he's actually pretty fluid for his size. You know, and I think Nashawn Wright is going to be a good case study. Oregon State.
I heard 6'4", and I thought that was the first name to come to mind.
Yeah. No, that's not my comp by any means. I mean, people will say that's a comp because they're both 6'4", right? For me, it's just something. It's a trend to watch. You know, last year a team was finally comfortable enough with a 6'4" corner to take them in round 3. You know, Tariq Woolen, I think, has a chance to be even better as a prospect. So where does he go now? You know, I think he's fluid enough at 6'4". That's kind of the big issue you look for with taller corners. Are they fluid? I think Tariq Woolen is. And then he's explosive. He's physical. He's long. You know, he really checks all the boxes. And if he's not going to be a pure corner, he could be a really good defensive chess piece in the secondary too. So keep an eye on Tariq Woolen. He continues to produce, and he's got very high level traits. He's going to be a really fun kind of case study to watch moving forward.
Well, the guy I have, he plays corner, but I don't think he's going to be the freak athlete that your cat will be. I like Leonard Johnson out of Duke. This guy was recruited as a safety, and he kind of like saw star in time because Mark Gilbert there was often injured and whatnot. So the dude has over 2,400 snaps to his name. And this season, he has just been, I think, a monster. He's allowed a completion rate percent of 27.3. He's got 2 interceptions, 3 pass breakups. And, I mean, over the course of his career, he's allowed a completion rate of 51.8, 6 interceptions, 15 pass breakups. And you kind of tell when you go watch it, like, he does feel a bit more of like a meteor corner. He's like 6'1", 190, 195. I wouldn't say he's got like crazy good movement skills, but it's like once this man like puts his hands on somebody, it's like it's deafening. It's like, oh, I just like it. He's able to keep track with savvier corners. Though they're in the ACC, typically it's like big slot country, you know? And like occasionally he'll kick to like the box, but because he does have that safety background. But yeah, no, I think he's pretty darn solid. I think the numbers are impressive. Maybe just not the testing numbers by comparison to your cat, man.
Yeah, and Tariq Woolen kind of sets a high bar for that. I'm not gonna lie. And athleticism isn't everything. It's not everything by any means. So, you know, if he tests well enough, you know, like you said, I mean, having that ability to convert, no matter, even if you don't have elite athletic traits, is good. You know, and Leonard Williams, is it Williams? I already forgot.
Johnson.
Leonard Johnson. My God, I had
You're
like 5
Giants
generic.
cat, dude.
I had 5 generic last names swirling in my head, and I was like, which one is
Brown,
it? I forgot
Smith,
already.
Williams.
Yeah, that's how you can tell, man. I mean, for some reason, now that I'm in the working world, it's like 8:39 is when you start to go
Crash.
To go off
Yeah, no, the minute like your work day is like over, it's like no.
It's just like, yeah, I'm just going down a tier, man, for some reason. That's just how it is. But Leonard Johnson, we'll go with that. Having that production, you know, allowing a 27% completion, was it? I mean,
this season.
That's impressive.
I mean, we saw that from like a Paulson Ojabo. Granted, Paulson Ojabo, I didn't think he was going to be that good when he tested out.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he looked significantly slower on film.
I thought he would be a good explosive athlete, not fluid. You know, that was my thing. And I think that, you know, more or less it's how it lined up. But yeah. Is that kind of what you're seeing from Leonard Johnson a little bit?
No, I just bring that up because I know that they had similar like career completion percentages.
Yeah, I got you.
And they played just a similar style in your face. I would say he's probably a better athlete than like a Martin Emerson, who I really like. It's these guys that have that mentality of, you can be fast, but when I put my hands on you, you're only as fast as I'm willing to let you. Type of mentality.
And that's a great mentality, kind of taking control of the rep. You know, not all corners can do that, and you know, having that is good. Leonard Johnson's interesting because, you know, I've gotten to a lot of guys. I actually haven't gotten to him, so you got ahead of me there. So I'm gonna have to write him down.
To be fair, it's like I'll go start checking out like PFF's analytics. Like, okay, what's a guy I could watch, you know, that maybe no one else is? And to be fair, I've also stumbled across some like some lemons, you know. Like I was just checking out last night. Was it San Diego State's Taylor? This is like Taylor Hawkins or something. Because I was like, oh, this guy's shut down. So I was watching the San Jose State game, and I was like, this guy should have given up 2 touchdowns if it wasn't for a drop pass, and he just got outright beat by speed. Like, the guy was incredibly slow and just played so hands off in coverage. And I was like, all right, well, never mind.
The grades are weird. Like, I like the metrics. I love the metrics. You know, the grades I always take with a bit of salt, just because, you know, it is.
I mean, it's always good for context, because actually, when you were talking about Will Levis, that's what, like, I went to go back. I looked at his grades and I was like, okay, he had 2 picks in this game, and went back, watched it. I was like, okay, they were all like tipped passes, like drops by the receiver, which apparently that's an issue in Kentucky. But
yeah, I know it's crazy. I know the first game he had, it was a pass it was a perfect pass that bounced off his receiver's hands and into the interception. So I mean, having that luck, and that's the thing. The grades, you know, it's a good way. Like you said, it's good for context, but you know, sometimes you really need to dive in and look for yourself and see that. I know San Diego State, because you brought them up, but I think Trenton Thompson, safety, he actually had a good game.
Oh,
and
yeah?
He's actually been good this year. So that's another name to look at. He's a 6th-year senior, so he's probably not going to be anything more than a late round guy. But just another ball hawk to keep in mind. I think he's got like 2 interceptions and 8 deflections so far this year. So.
Hey man, I'm always down, man. I'm not,
Seriously.
especially for these group of 5 guys. I feel like I just don't have a good tab on a lot of them unless I'm seeing them from somewhere else. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Gotta watch this guy. Gotta watch this guy. Gotta watch this guy.
Exactly. Everyone, you kind of just pick them out. You put them on a list. You're like, all right, I'll get to this guy. I'll get to this. There's so much ground to cover. It's insane.
That's the thing, dude. Yeah, it's like once I get done with like one watch list, I kind of like then I'll shuffle them or throw them in my ranking somewhere. It's like great. Now I have this other watch list to deal with. It's
exactly
sucks. But
then,
hey,
like,
thank you for coming on, my friend.
Yeah, for sure, man. I always appreciate it. Always appreciate talking about these guys. I mean, there's already so much to talk about right now. And then once the season's over, there's going to be even more to talk about. So it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving. So I'm excited to kind of keep progressing, keep following it along and see what happens. I'm hoping some of these guys that we mentioned, there's guys to watch. I'm hoping some of them kind of break out and kind of validate the hype that they're starting to build. It's going to be exciting to follow.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun second half to the season, definitely. And I can't wait. It's been a roller coaster at quarterback, and yeah, man, this draft's gonna be nuts.
It's really all you can do. Just shrug and wait.
I know it really sucks if you're like the Texans, Detroit. Shoot, even the Dolphins right now, because like, it's so bad being in quarterback freaking purgatory or limbo.
Yeah. I know how it feels, man. I know it's rough. It's rough.
But hey, it's always much appreciated, much obliged. You know where to find them. I'll throw down some of your in the description handles and I'll throw an article down there too. Link to an article. I won't throw the actual article.
Yes, sir. If you want the 7-round mock, I mean that's the one that just got put out, but also putting out those sleepers articles. I think the sleeper one this week's gonna be out Saturday morning, so that'll be a good one. I already mentioned Carter Warren and Matthew Butler, who are going to be in there, but also a few other prospects to watch too. So check that out. Ian @Ian_Cummings_9, and then Pro Football Network is @PFN365.
Yeah, man. Sleepers, man. That's always like the most fun, I think, read. Yeah. But
it's the most fun to write too. I love diving in on those guys.
Yeah, dude. All right, it was a blast, man. It was a blast. Catch everyone on the flip side, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know how I typically end these videos.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was waiting for like a concrete sign off
catchphrase. I don't know. I don't want to be too much of like a Fortnite game YouTuber and have like a catchphrase ending. You know.
I get that.
See you in the next one, guys. You know.
Yeah. It's like no.
Broshmo. It's already a cartoonish enough name. You know. It needs some legitimacy to me.
So, hey guys, it's Broshmo. Here we go.
Hey, what's crack-a-lackin'?
Yeah, no, I get that for sure.
Oh,
and
man.
you know, the whole show is kind of a conversation, so just kind of let it fade out, and then boom, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, honestly, not a bad idea.
Yeah, honestly.
All right, man. I'll let you get some rest and shut eye, man. I really do appreciate you coming on. I love this.
Dude, I appreciate coming on. You know, I always love to talk draft. I don't always get a chance to do enough of it at PFN. So anytime I can go outside the box and, you know, talk to you guys, it's always fun to have that conversation.
Oh yeah, dude. And yeah, honestly, I wish I was more well spoken. Like you come off super articulate and I'm just like, yeah, this guy's strong, put hand out there and he go fast. Like golly, dude. That's why I have to write down notes. I can like, all right, don't.
Sometimes I feel like I'm stumbling over my words, man. It's just like
it's good. You're like jabbing, dude. You're like literally you're throwing one punchline after the next. You know, it's good. It's a lot of information over a short span. I like it.
I appreciate it, man. I've worked on that efficiency of information. That's kind of the deal here because there's so much information to sift through. What's the most important? What do you do? Just kind of get it out there, you know. So.
Nah, it's good. I like it. Like I feel like I'm being overloaded at times. It's great. I love that stuff, dude.
I appreciate the energy because you kept me awake. You know that it's kind of a give and take. So we're good.
Sipping
We're good.
On my coffee, man.
Dynamic
it's gonna be a long night for me. So.